Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make these blanks that you can find over our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. There'll be a link for that down in the description down below. And this is our solid spatula and ladle set. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Alrighty, first things first, when you receive your blanks, you'll need to knock the dross off of them because these are plasma cut. That'll be the very first step. You can do so with just a hammer and on the anvil and just set it up on edge and chip the dross off that way. It's pretty quick and effective. And then the very first step that we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to be texturing this handle at the same time we are spreading it out a little bit to give it just a bit more width. So I've got the spatula in right now. We're going to work on the handles first. I'll set the ladle here out of the way. I'll grab the spatula. And I'm going to pick a top side. And then I'm going to start texturing this while allowing the handle to spread ever so lightly. I'm going for a fairly broad, kind of a rocky kind of texture on this one. You can go for a wood grain, a ball peen. There's a lot of different types of textures that you can achieve. I do suggest texturing it a little bit. This helps spread the handle out and gives it more visual interest as well. These aren't meant to be super high-end kitchen utensils. They're meant to just be a down and dirty, quick thing that you can do to make yourself a really nice spatula and ladle set that you could take on camping trips or give away as gifts, to family and friends. They're fairly handy, quick thing to make. So now that we've got that texture the way we want it, we're going to reheat this up, and I'm going to give this handle just a bit of cup using the step of the anvil over here. Okay, now I got my piece hot again. I'm going to turn the texture side down. I'm going to go right in the step of my anvil. And then I'm going to hammer this dead center. Try to direct my hammer blows in the center of this piece to just start getting a little bit of dome into this. I'm also going to now hammer it on the edges to get it nice, help curve that just a bit more. This step is optional, so if you want to skip it, you can. But I found that this step really helps out with giving the handle some structure versus it just being flat. Now you will have some straightening out to do to adjust this nice and square and in line, especially if you've done it over there. I've got a little bit of a crook right here, so I'll have to heat it up a bit more and take that out of it. But there you go. So that handle is practically done. Now later on, when I go to finish this handle, I will actually sand this off. I will sand any rough or sharp edges that there is on this handle off at that point. It'll all get sanded and smoothed up. But I really like the feel of that cupped handle, and like I said, it gives it quite a bit of structure. So we'll get one more heat on this, and we'll shape this then to the way it needs to be. For this next part, I like to use a soft face mallet, something like a rawhide mallet or a wooden mallet to give this handle its shape and to give it its curvature. I do like going over the amount I need at first. I like overbending, like a crazy amount, and then I like to bring it back and feather it back into the correct curvature. I find that this gives a much more even curve to the piece than what you would get if you just try to curve it the first time straight out the gate. I find that this gives a much nicer, gentler curve. You don't need a ton of curvature on these, just a little bit goes a long way. on these things. There we go. And now we can brush that really good. Now, once you get one handle done, I suggest that you do the same to the other handle as well, and then move on to the actual ends of the working ends of the utensils. Okay, so once you've got the ladle handle done as well, like you can see here, now it's time to actually work on the ends. We're going to continue working with the spatula. We're going to bring it out, and we're going to put a small taper right across the front. Now you can choose to grind this in if you'd like, but I like to forge in this taper, this little bevel, right across the piece. We'll go out to the far outside edge of the anvil here so I'm not dinging up in the middle of Olga. I'm just going to put a nice little forged bevel down on that. And then, this is optional, you can put stuff on the edge as well. If you want to put a little edge bevel on it, that's completely up to you. Entirely a stylistic choice there, and a functional choice. But for this one, I'm just going to put on a little bit of an edge bevel there. Now, you'll see that this is flared out a little bit from edge to edge. You can leave that on. That could be a handy trait, or grind it off. However, do not forge that back in. When you forge it back in, it ends up pushing a bit of material up here, and you have to clean that off anyhow. So leave it spread wide, and then if you want to get rid of that, either forge out some side bevels or grind it off at the grinder. So there you go. There's the forged bevel. Now the next thing we need to do is we actually need to bend this up, so this way it's not diving into the pan like this, but it's got a nice comfortable spatula feel to it. So we will be over at the vise. Okay, we've got it nice and hot here. I've got 2 pieces of angle iron stuck in the vise. I'm going to push this down until I've got about 3/4 of an inch or so, maybe a little less, sticking out of the top of the vise. Squeeze that down. If it looks uneven, tap it down now or get it adjusted. And then we're just going to bend it right over, just like you see, just like so. You can also hammer this over at the anvil if you feel that that makes you, if you feel that you can be accurate. If not, a vise is a perfect thing to have with some angle iron stuck in it to create a really nice crisp bend. And voila, spatula is done. Now I'll probably take a little bit of the curve out of that spatula handle, but I can adjust that cold. Now let's move on to dishing the ladle. Okay, so I've switched out the angle iron pieces and I've inserted a cupping tool. This cupping tool is just a piece of pipe with a bar welded across the bottom and the edges rolled out so it creates a nice smooth cup to it. I will be using a ball peen hammer that has a nicely crowned face to it to do my sinking into this tool. Bring this thing out, nice and hot. We're going to aim for the edges first. And the important thing here is we're not trying to strike the metal between here and there. We're hitting dead center, and we're just moving the material around. I totally went the wrong way. Don't do that. Otherwise you'll have to redo it. Pay attention to which way is up for your handle. Again, as you work this piece, remember, you're not trying to capture the piece between the cupping tool and the edge. You're trying to hit in the center of the cupping tool and move this into the direction of where your hammer blows at. If you do happen to hit the edge, you'll hear it make a different sound, and it will also leave a really big ding mark on the back side of your ladle, which you probably won't want. So now I'll heat this back up, and I'll do another round of hammering. There you have it. That's all done nicely now. You can keep sinking this deeper and deeper. The way that you do that, get this hot again, and you always start by working the edges, by compressing the edges right on around. So you're going to work all the way around your edges first, and then work down into the center as well. And then you'll drive the center down. So you'll work from the outside edges down into the center constantly. Okay, so there you have it. That's a spatula, that's a ladle. About that quick and simple. Now that's the forging portion. In order to clean these up, I'll give you a brief summary. I'm not going to do it in this video. I've done it in others of the whole series I've done on different spatula and ladle sets. So just go to check out the entire series in the playlist linked in the description down below if you're curious about finishing work in detail to see a tutorial on that. So basically the finish work goes like this. You're going to want to wire wheel these down. Get as much scale, any forging scale you have on them and stuff like that off of the finished pieces, and then you will coat these things down with your favorite cooking oil or food safe oil of some kind. Now, with that being said, you do want to be careful of people's allergies out there if you are turning around trying to sell these on the market, or if you're gifting them. You know, like you may not want to coat them with peanut oil, as there is a good portion of our populace that's allergic to peanuts. Even though peanut oil is great, creates a really nice finish, may not be so great if your customer swells up on you. So definitely don't want to do that. So be aware of that. Make sure that you let people know what you coated them with, depending on whatever type of oil it is, whether it be cooking oil, sassafras oil, whatever you coat them with, you need to do that. So one way of heating these up, you can do it over the forge, then coat them with oil. That'll put on a really dark seasoned finish. Or you can go for a lighter seasoned finish that'll develop over time by sticking these in your oven at about 550 or on the very broil setting, and rub them down again with just your favorite oil, and that will season them up nicely. And you should be able to get years and years of use out of it. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you to all the channel members that make video content like this possible, and to all you fine folks out there that have purchased my blanks in the past and have purchased these blanks in particular. You really do go to help out the channel quite a bit, and you know, couldn't do it without you, so thank you all so much. Again, if you're interested in these, you can go check them out over at our website, blacksmithpdfs.com. And as always, God bless you, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.